All right. Then.
Yes, you're live.
Okay.
I see you.
Let me see. Oh, we are live. Awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. I'm a busy baby.
Oh, baby girl.
Let's see real quick here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and I guess wait for a couple of people to come on. So with this, should we stay Google Hangouts or should I switch it back over to YouTube?
Can you pop out the chat, or I can? Yeah, I can stay on Google Hangouts because that's in real time. Because YouTube has a delay.
Yeah. Okay. Is that you? Is that yours? Yours or mine? That's mine.
The sound?
Yeah.
I was like, I think I have it. Yeah, I have it muted.
I have mine muted now. Okay.
I have so many tabs open. I'm like, I'm trying to make
Ditto.
sure I
I've got
everything.
got like 5 tabs open. Okay. All right. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so fun.
That's what I was looking for. Okay, we got it. So I can see you. I can see the chat.
How did you do that?
I have it all like on different screens. I have like a half screen and a quarter screen.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Quarter screen. Okay, I think I've got it set up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I still haven't picked up Michael's basketball hoop that he tipped over earlier.
I'm like, no, it's fine. Nobody knows it's there.
Now everybody knows, but it's okay.
The only time someone was over and Arya made a mess in the kitchen, and I didn't think anybody was walking over there, and so they started to walk like towards the back door, and I was like, oh yeah, there's food on the floor in the kitchen, it's fine. I was like, I'll get it later.
Yeah, we had a couple people over. We were originally going to go to the beach, and it was way too packed, so we just came back and went to the pool. And so they dropped some of the stuff off at our house, and Michael had completely just destroyed all of everything. And if you ever see the Sawdust and Claudia Instagram account, you can see daily he takes apart. There's the bottom drawer. We haven't gotten the cabinet locked yet.
I think we only have half of ours.
Well, like we got some, but they were the wrong kind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just never did upstairs.
Yeah, and so he takes everything out while I'm cooking every single morning. And this morning he took out all 3 drawers. So I had like spatulas all over the house, and it's been fun.
I gave her a drawer. So that's like really the very bottom drawer is like hers. So it has like her cups, her snacks, and then everything else is like locked.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. Usually most of the stuff he can't hurt himself with, so I'm not really that concerned, but yeah, it's fun. It's constant. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We could wait a couple more minutes.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's 11:32. So we technically just started because I know we logged in a little early.
Yeah.
I know I looked, I was like, oh, there's a lot of people live right now.
There's what?
A lot of people that are live. It seems like everyone has the same idea, like, oh, let's all go live at one time.
I'm like learning YouTube. So how did you find the like different people that are live right now? I guess the people you're following.
On your home screen, like off to the side. So depending on your subscriptions or like who you're subscribed to, it'll like tell you who's live. And then there's also a live screen, so it lets you know like what's trending in live. It's usually like news topics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna have to go search some more. Yeah. So how's the weather up there? Because ours was so funky this morning.
It's not as hot as it has been. It's pretty cool. I know after this I have like appointments to like run and stuff. But what is the actual weather? I always feel like it's a different degree than what it says it is.
Yeah.
Yesterday the breeze has been nice because it's been in the 90s, but it's had a nice breeze. Yeah, so it's 83 right now. So it's not bad.
Really? It's nicer up there. It was like cold this morning. It wasn't cold, it was cool and kind of dewy. Like there was a mist this morning, and normally it's Southern California. It's normally pretty perfect. I'm just like what is this? Okay.
I guess we can get started. Let me send out a last thing.
Okay. Yes, I guess we'll go ahead and get started on our topic this week. Since this is the very first of the series, I'm actually going to make this into kind of a series and discuss different topics for moms each week.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. And ours is obviously going to be about postpartum and baby blues. And I know that that's what you're all about. Hey.
Yes. Hi. Hey, mamas. It's Christina. How are you?
What's up, hey mama? But yeah, I'm gonna turn this into a series. I'm thinking like 4 to 6 weeks. And so we'll do it, it'll be every Tuesday at 11:30. It'll be discussing different topics and all the fun stuff moms like. So
I like that too, that you took like Tuesdays, because I know on Instagram you're doing like your mom tip Tuesdays.
mm-hmm.
And so it like fits in perfectly.
Yeah, I was trying to pick up a day that wouldn't be, I don't know, I don't feel like Tuesday, there's not really that much going on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
For most people, I don't know, Tuesdays is just a day. But hey mama, we're doing great. How are you? That's so good. I'm super excited to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you. And I know we've kind of just like talked through text and over the phone with your box.
I know, yes. And we'll be talking about my box and how that all got started, how the Mommy Pockets got started Tuesday, actually not Tuesday, what's Thursday on your channel.
Yeah, I know like you talked a little bit, but I'm excited to like learn more of. Tuesday's my super productive day. See, mine are Mondays. I always because Tuesdays are normally when Eric has the day off. So I'll kind of like get out of the house and run my errands so he can watch Arya. And then I try to stay home like with Eric. That's like our family day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Mondays are like my work overload day.
I feel like that's every day for me. Like I try to take Saturdays are usually my low key days. Like I'll plan a lot of stuff on Sundays and then just get little tasks done each day. That way I'm not overdoing it on one day. But Tuesdays is kind of like, all right, it's the middle of the week. I've gotten most of the tedious things done. Now it's time to take things to the next step and what's going on next week and, months out planning.
Yeah. Then Monday is my house deep clean and prep day. Yeah, I do that. I like deep clean, which was nice. Eric actually cleaned the house for me on Sunday. And so I came home to a clean house and I was like, I was going to do a video yesterday of a cleaning video. And I'm like, I have nothing to do now. So I just like pretended to clean stuff.
You're like, and this perfectly cleaned and waxed wood table.
Yeah, I'm like, let's just re-clean it. Tuesdays is grocery and errands. Yeah, that's my Target run days. Tuesdays are for Target. I usually actually meet up with Christina. We go over like YouTube and stuff like that.
Nice.
And like our plan, so that's good.
Yeah. I don't really do much. I'm like, I don't really have a grocery day because I feel like we're always needing more. Usually it's on Sundays. Like Sundays, I guess, is like the most productive day. Like it's grocery shopping, meal prepping, getting stuff done for the rest of the week. Like that's Sunday. And other than that, but yeah, so our topic this week is postpartum and baby blues. And I know that's something that you're really, you want to bring awareness to, as do I, because I know that so many moms go through it but no one speaks up about it because it's kind of this, oh, I'm fine, like everything's fine. But in reality, there's just so much going on. Like you're becoming a whole new person as you're transforming, not even just through pregnancy, but when those first few months as a mom are just so intense and so fun and hard and just anything and everything you could possibly think of.
Yeah, it just kind of like hits you, and what do they call it? It's like you're just kind of like that zombie mode. You're just kind of running on autopilot, and you don't even know what's going on for like 2 months.
Yeah,
Like there's just so much, and you're just like in a daze. Like that's how I felt. Like I don't know. I just feel like everything was really quick because we were bouncing around between. I was lucky to stay at my parents' house because we were waiting for this house. And so we moved in with my parents. I think I was like 6 months, like towards the end of my pregnancy. So they helped me out. They were, there at the hospital. They're, when I first came home. But it wasn't as much help as I thought I was going to get because obviously they have their things that they're doing. And so I'm like, oh, yeah. And then we immediately, like for 2 weeks, came and stayed with my in-laws so they can get time with the baby because they were moving out of state. And they wanted to see her as much as possible. So I was just constant like go. And I don't think I really had time to sit and process how I was feeling because I was so worried about like pleasing everybody else and making sure everyone else was okay. And like I'm a host by like nature. So I was still playing the host to everybody. And so then it came time to where things kind of settled down and it was just her and I. And I would just find myself crying. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, because it finally gave me time to mellow out. No one was visiting her as much because, she was older. And I think it hit around 2 to 3 months where I was like, okay, something's wrong. And then I finally I just remember I curled up in bed and I knew I was feeling sad and Eric was there and he was just got home from work and I was like, I don't know if I'm a good mom. And I just started crying. And I was like, I don't think I'm happy. And he said, I know. And so we like talked about it. But yeah, it took like 3 months to realize like, no, there's something wrong. I'm not happy. I'm not okay. Like I keep saying I am. I'm not fine. I wouldn't even tell my doctor. My doctor was like, oh, how are you? I was like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
And really, I'm like, I'm dying.
Yeah. I know and even on like the questionnaires when you go to the, checkups for our kids, it's like, oh, are you going through this? It's like, I'm not that extreme, but I'm not where I should be that I normally am. Like, I'm a very happy, bubbly person. I was just kind of droning around like, and I nursed for 7.5 months. And I think that was my hardest. Feel like I loved it and I was so appreciative that I was able to nurse that long. At the same time, I was just like, it was hard. I think that was my biggest struggle because I didn't have a life. Like my story was we'd moved when I was 21 weeks pregnant to California where I didn't know anybody at all.
Wow.
And so I'm 21 weeks pregnant. I have like no friends, no girlfriends, no nothing. Like it's me and Kevin, who I love obviously so much, but it's like you need your girl time and stuff. And so I'm going through all that. And then having Michael, it was just like I was just stuck in the bedroom, like nursing every, 45 minutes, every hour, like just on the clock, nonstop. And it was just, I think that took its biggest toll on me when it came to postpartum and stuff like that. And it was just, that was my biggest struggle, I think, was really going through nursing. And I know you're still nursing.
Yeah. And I never thought I would be like, she's going to be 2 next month. And my original thing was, I don't know if I didn't have a plan. That was the thing. Like, it's not like we just got pregnant. Like, we were happy we were pregnant, but I never took nursing classes or like pregnancy classes, Lamaze classes, because I was working the whole time. And for me, I had a busy schedule and that class didn't fit into my schedule. And I would laugh and be like, I know how to breathe. I don't need to take a class for it. Which, if you are watching this on a replay, you need to take a class for it because it's a different type of breathing.
Yeah. I took a class and I definitely say it was a game changer. We would have had a C-section had we not taken the class.
Oh, wow.
And known what to do. Yeah.
Luckily, she came too fast to really, but there was times where I didn't realize it. I was holding my breath, and like the nurses and Eric was yelling at me, like, you need to breathe. And I was like, I thought I was, but yeah. So we took no classes, and so, but I come from a family. There's 6 siblings, so it's me and then there's 2 younger ones. So I helped my mom because I was 7 when she had the first brother after me. So I helped my mom and I watched her, and then I was 10 when the last one came. So I felt like I was old enough, and I went to all her classes. I actually wanted to be an OBGYN just because I was around it. But yeah, that changed when I got to high school and I took science. So I was like, no, I'll stick with business. But I didn't know. I felt like I could do this, and I was too busy to go to these classes. I was too busy to do that. And so when it came to that birthing plan, I was like, I don't know, have a baby, take care of her. Like, that's my plan. And so breastfeeding just kind of happened. One, it's cheaper, and it was never like, oh, I believe, breast is best, or, the extremes out there. It was just kind of like, it's more convenient, it's cheaper, I can do it. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper. I don't have to worry about that. So we'll try it and we'll see how it works. I was that mom. I was like, okay, let's just try and see how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. But it hurt, and I was like, okay, we'll go for 6 months, we'll see. And then 6 months came, and she was still going strong, and I was like, okay, well, we'll hit the year mark, and then we'll kind of die off. And then a year came, and I'm like, this girl is never giving up. Like, she's still going strong, but she's a comfort nurser. So sometimes it's like if she gets hurt, she comes to me, and I'm like, you don't need that, baby. So yeah, it's crazy. And I think now I'm really getting to that point where I'm like, please, like I told her earlier, I was like, mommy doesn't want to. And so she just goes, and like walked away. But we're getting to the point where we can understand, like, it's for nap times. And so she's like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael actually had weaned himself off. Like, it was really hard. And this is how I know, like, my body was just done nursing and I didn't recover, I guess, as easily as I thought I would have. Normally, I just bounce back and do stuff. And I guess after having Michael, I just had a really hard recovery. I was sick all the time. Like, every month I was getting sick. Like, something was going wrong. Like, my immune system was always crashing. Like, it was just really bad. And if I wasn't getting sick, Michael was getting sick. And it was just this nonstop process of getting sick, getting better. And then, like, the one that ended it for us was I caught a stomach bug, and then Michael caught a stomach bug, and Kevin caught it too. But during that time, I couldn't nurse him because it was milk and dairy. So he could only have the Pedialyte for babies. And that was the same day he'd gotten his toe tourniquet. You can actually see that on my blog, the story about how that happened. This all happened in one day. So, like, we went to the hospital, he had a stomach bug, he had the toe tourniquet, like, had to go under, and it was just nuts. And that was just that cut everything off. Like, it was, we're done. And he was fine with it too. Like, and even now he's getting, like, I'm trying to give him bottles and he doesn't really want bottles anymore. And it's just easy.
Yeah, she's never been a pacifier person. I mean, she was a bottle person because I still worked full time. So I think that was the worst part of my journey. And that's kind of where I was just really like, I was on edge at work because I felt like I was stuck to a machine. Like, every break I had to pump just to keep the supply up.
Oh yeah.
Once she turned a year, I was like, okay, we're not doing that anymore because she doesn't need to eat as often. We still had some, like, stored up in the freezer, so it'd be able to wean her down a little bit. Once I stopped pumping, I felt so much better about my journey. And so I think that's why I was able to go on a little bit longer. But now it's just getting to the point because she's avoiding food just so she can nurse. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem now. So now we need to stop. But the worst was I had to go to Dallas for a week. And I had to bring the pump with me, and I had to pump. So everyone's like out, and every like couple hours, I'm like, ladies, I have to go back to the hotel room. And like, luckily, the convention that we were at, we were staying at that hotel room. So I would leave the convention downstairs, run upstairs to the room, been 20 minutes, then I had to clean it out, and then I had to run back down. So it was a waste of a trip, I felt. Because I was just so wrapped around pumping, which that's a totally different, like pumping versus like just breastfeeding. It was so
different.
hard. That's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I was so mad.
Pumping, I feel it, like I didn't even want to pump. I'm like, I'm exclusively nursing. I didn't want anything to do with pumping because of that reason. Like it was just, I mean, it was a full-time job just nursing, and then full-time job, pumping. And then if you're also working, oh my, I have so much respect for the moms who do.
Yeah, that's I put a meme up one day because I was super tired and I had just pumped because I pumped right before I left in the morning to go to work, and then once I got to work, I would like wait like right before, because I worked in I was a store manager, a retail store, so right before we opened our doors, I would pump again, and then obviously my lunch, and then as soon as I got home. So it was kind of just like it had to be timed. Well, one morning I remember I was putting everything together, and I went to grab one of the bottles and I knocked it over, and I was like crying, and I said, whoever said crying over spilt milk is stupid has never nursed a baby before. Like, all my friends were like, oh no, and I'm like, and it's not just like, oh, you made a mess, you just watch time just like spill,
like all of that effort you just gave is done. I spilled it before and I cried.
Right, you
do.
Cry. I think one time I yelled at Eric. I was just like, he left a bottle out and it went bad, and there was like 2 ounces left. And I was like, you don't understand.
Yeah, Kevin did the same thing, and I was just like, no, like I was livid, and he's like, it's just milk. I'm like, it's not just milk. That is liquid gold, and I kept telling him that. Like,
so I mean, I know. Okay, so now we're trying to conceive. I know you saw it. Everyone's like seen it. So I'm excited about this one because I know it's going to be a completely different journey than with Aria. And I know people are like nervous because I am so open that yes, I had postpartum depression, even though I was dealing with it silently and I didn't tell anybody. I managed to get over it, which that kind of told me it wasn't as bad as some people, because there's different spectrums of having it. I was able to deal with it alone and get over and notice the signs, and I was very aware. But with this one, I'm like, okay, I'm not working. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Like, yes, I do YouTube, and like I'm a social media parent, but I work from home. I'm able to enjoy it a little bit more. I might not have to pump this time around. Yes, I have a toddler that I'm still trying to wean, but hopefully I can wean that one before another one comes.
That'll be fun.
I feel like the journey is different. So I'm nervous and excited to see if, my situation that I was in caused the extra stress of working full time, running around, doing all those things, because like my commute one way was like an hour and a half. And so I was gone from Aria like 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so it's like I'm in a different situation. So it's exciting to see if my situation is different. Will I still have those problems? Is it an environmental factor? And I'd love to like take notes of all this and like jot it down so people know too. Because I didn't have, she was an easy pregnancy. Like I didn't even know I was pregnant. I was just super tired. And my friend mentioned, she's like, I think you're pregnant. And I'm like, no. And then you start doing like the time, you're like, wait, adding days, and you're like,
you're like, oh, this all makes sense now.
Well, look at that. But so, and then during the pregnancy, I was able to work up until like 36 weeks. The doctor pulled me off because of my commute, and he's like, you're getting tired, you're gonna get more tired. I don't want you falling asleep behind the wheel. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
But I could have worked, I had her right on time. It was a super easy labor. It was, I think it was just the stress of like going back to work and, trying to like juggle both of our parents and things like that really
so let's kind of dive into that, like, because I know a lot of moms, that's one of their biggest struggles is going back to work, in that separation does cause that depression. So when did you go back to work, and like how do you think that played an effect in becoming, having baby blues and just going into the postpartum depression, not so much just those couple weeks?
I was able to extend. So California doesn't have the best like time off but it doesn't have the worst. So I maxed out. I went back at 11 weeks. She was 11 weeks old. So I had basically just maxed out my time home.
Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm not on
No.
coffee, guys. I apologize.
I know you told me, like, I don't have coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It was like bittersweet because I love working. I've always worked. And so I think part of it too, of me being sad is, I don't know, I felt this like I needed to do something more. Because I mean, raising a kid is a lot.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was in a routine and I hate routines. You know, it was just wake up, take care of her. And then when they're 3, 4 months, all they do is sleep. And so you're just kind of home sometimes and you're bored. And, and I think if I was doing other things kind of like YouTube or, like this, it would be different. But I had my start date to go back to work and they told me, hey, can you travel out of town for like an overnight? So it's technically 2 days, but you're going to be staying overnight and like help us out at a different location. And I said, sure. And I didn't even think about it. And I think that was part of like, I was just feeling sad and I needed a break. And I was like, yeah, of course. And they're like, I know you just had a baby. Are you sure you want to be away from the baby? And I was like, yes. And now I think about it, I'm like, man, does that sound like rude? Like I wanted to get away from my baby, but I'm like, no, it's normal to feel that way. And I told Eric like, hey, I'll be out of town, and everything was fine. I came home, of course, I missed her, and I was like, oh my gosh, like when I was gone away from her, like I missed it. But I don't know, I just like jumped right back into it, and I think it was like a switch. So when I was home, it was like mom. And then as soon as I got in that car, it was like I would have to turn on a switch to forget I was a mom, even though I was, pumping, just so, it wouldn't be so hard and I wouldn't miss her. And it was just straight work mode. And, it was a lot of distractions at work, making sure I stayed busy, making sure I didn't have any downtime to like think about the baby. And then, of course, on my lunch, I would turn it back on and I'd see my mom watched her, so I'd like call them or ask them for pictures, and then lunch was off, and then it'd be like, okay, back to work mode. So it was like I was dealing with two different, basically, people.
Yeah.
Two different me's, and yeah, I don't know if it was just kind of a cover, and that's part of the reason why too I didn't want to admit, or I didn't have time to really think about how I was feeling, because I was just distracting myself from like the truth.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you think a lot of moms can kind of, I guess, become more self-aware that it's not, because, they say baby blues is normal, but how long, is normal? They say it's normally a couple weeks, but then once you go into that second month and that third month and you're still not back to the way you were feeling, how do you think what would you suggest like moms to kind of just like take note of and become aware of when they're hitting those, that second month in, and it's hard and you're just, grinding away doing the like same robotic, like it does, because nothing changes. I mean, it changes, but it doesn't. Like you're still feeding just as much and needing, and like the baby's needing nonstop, and you don't really get that time to step away and evaluate yourself and be like, okay, what's really going on here? Am I, because you're happy, you're a mom, but at the same time, it's like there's this other end of you and this other energy that's just like soul sucking almost, and it's like, but you're not going to admit it, It's like, what would you suggest?
I think the most confusing part of everything is you're happy. You're happy. Like you look at this child and you're so happy, yet you're sad. And I think that's where, that whole like, am I depressed? Am I not? And the stigma on the word depression too kind of kept me from, because I dealt with depression in my family, and so I would look at them and I'm like, but I'm not like that. I don't obviously, have thoughts of like hurting myself, but that's the first thing you think about when you hear depression, is it automatically goes to like, oh, you want to hurt yourself or hurting the baby. And I think what celebrity Chrissy Teigen, she talked about with her first one, that she had postpartum depression. And she's like, I don't look at my child and hate my child. It's just a feeling that you can't explain. And so I don't know if it should be called something different or there should be a more clarity, but I wish doctors dug into it more or had more of an outlet for mom. And I felt like right after you have the baby, it's no longer about your health. It's like, how's the baby doing? It's the 6-week checkup for the baby, and there's this and there's that. And like, yes, you have a 6-week checkup for you, but it's just to make sure that everything's healing okay. And like medically you're doing okay. It doesn't really go into the mental aspect. So, I mean, Christina had said it, hey mama, she said, finding basically your tribe, finding a support system outside of doctors, someone who's unbiased. I know it's hard, but as much as possible that you can talk to, other moms who have gone through it as well. One thing I wish I would have done with the hospital is found my mom group. So, they always have a group of women who are pregnant around your time. So you can kind of like grow. I wish I would have done that. So I would have had people along with me, because I had friends who had babies, but it was either like they were way past pregnant and their babies were like 4 or 5, or they had just gotten pregnant, or they were way too far away. So things like that. I think too, just opening up more, and once you start feeling a certain way, no matter how little it may seem, if you have to go to your doctor and just be like, hey, I'm confused, I don't know how I feel, can we talk about it, can I set up something to talk about? Because like I said, that's like the biggest thing is it's the word like depression. That's why I try to use baby blues, because I feel like that's a different aspect of it.
Exactly.
Because I think you can have
The
baby
extended
blues
version of baby blues.
Yes, and not have postpartum depression, and vice versa. Like, and it's just, I wish there was a better term and like, I guess, diagnosis for it and an understanding of it, so you can prepare moms a little bit better. Maybe that should be a class of feelings afterwards, or I know they do a huge or a quick what to expect, but they don't really dig into it because it's so broad of how everybody feels.
Exactly.
We don't all go through this.
Yeah, and I think like how you had said, you wished that, I mean, the word depression, that was my biggest reason for waiting so long. I was like, I'm not depressed, but I was like, I have a situation and this is how I'm feeling, but I'm not depressed. I'm not all these things that are listed about depression. I don't, like you said, I don't want to hurt my baby. I don't want to do this, but I wasn't my happy, bubbly self. And I think a lot of moms, are in that same situation where they are happy. They're, so ecstatic about being a mom and having their new baby with them. But at the same time, there's all these struggles of, your life is changing, your identity, that identity that you had before becoming a mom doesn't exist. And no one gives you a blue book or a manual on how to cope with that change, and I feel like that is something that a lot of moms do go through, and dealing with it is, I mean, obviously that's what your spouse is for. And I think a lot of moms also feel guilty about going to their spouse because you're already asking so much. It's like, I need help with this. I need more, extra help. And I guess for me personally, I felt guilty. I'm like, just another thing. He's going to be like, oh, great. But like, whenever I told him, he was like, yeah, I can tell something's up. Like, I know something's not normal. And I think had I come out sooner, like had you had done, I think it's easier for a mom or a woman to come out and speak about it sooner, even if it's just your spouse or a family member or somebody. Speak to somebody that you can trust in, and just let them know, like, hey, I've got this going on. I'm happy. I love my child. I love everybody around me, but I'm sad.
Yeah, I always felt like you had to, like, that's their disclaimer. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Don't want to hurt anybody, but I think we need to talk. Maybe if you came out that way first, so it doesn't freak everybody out, like, whoa, just throwing the big word out there. But one thing Eric did after, I'd really told him, and, we both worked, and he was, I mean, Bay Area traffic and stuff, he wouldn't get home till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. But one thing he started doing, and it was just a small gesture, but it's something I didn't have to worry about, and it helped so much, is he would, as soon as I got home, he would clean out my bag for like my parts for the breast pump, and he would clean and wash all of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was just that small little thing that, takes 5 minutes to do, and sanitize and just real quick and put them up and, repack the bag, that I didn't have to worry about. And that gave me 5 minutes to just relax, and or just going to the store by yourself, taking an hour, go grocery shopping by yourself. You don't need to take the kids.
Yeah.
Just plan it off and be like, I'll be back. Get yourself a coffee, walk around the store, take your time if you need to, just doing something for yourself, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to, like, I know some women do pedicures and manicures, it doesn't have to be all that. If you can do that like once a month, like totally like recommend doing that and getting out for yourself like once a month or once every other month, but just going away for a little bit, just to I think we just need a reset. Like we have
you need, it's in those beginning months, you need that time away. And it doesn't matter, like, and let's say you're a single mom, you know, if you have family members, be like, hey, I pumped or I've got the milk ready, like, I just need an hour. Really, an hour is all you need. It's like, just give me that hour. And you're rebooted, you're ready to go. And that was, I remember one of the biggest things for me, like I just was begging Kevin, I'm like, I need a night off. Like I pumped for, you know, like enough milk for the night. I had done everything. And he came home and got me like flowers and a card and gave me, there was a hotel across the street and he bought me a room for the night to just go and sleep.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, and I was just, that was my game changer. I'm like, yes, I need, you know, once a week, give me an hour and I'm fine.
Right.
That's, I mean, and I think that's a lot of moms, maybe you just speak up and be like, hey, I know I'm asking a lot already of you. If you know, if that's how you're feeling, then just be like, I just need an hour to myself. Like I need an hour, like to get a manicure, pedicure, just go for a walk outside or something to just be alone, recharge.
Book in a closet.
I don't know about a book in a closet. But I mean, if that's what floats your boat, by all means.
Right? If you can't leave the house, just kind of go to a separate room. Don't tell them where you're at.
Yeah, just I'm gonna lock this door, but I'm not in here. Like the door's just.
I'm not in. Yeah, don't worry about it. Mommy locked it.
Yeah. And so, how do you think, whenever you did come out, how do you feel that Eric kind of responded, and like how did that help you and change, and what really just was the game changer for you once you did come out and say, hey, I've got this going on?
I think it was one, I mean, I've always been this way, and Eric knows this about me, is I'm really bad at like saying how I feel. And so, but he's really good at seeing the signs of like, I'm not feeling myself.
Ditto.
But he waits, because I don't like being pestered, you know, don't keep asking me what's wrong. Don't, just leave me alone. And when I'm ready to tell you, I'll tell you. And so I'm so glad he learned when to do that, because when it came to that, and of course I was just like, I think I'm sad, or, you know, and he said, I know. And he knew I was sad, and it just let me know that he's been trying to help me. And so you kind of like look back at everything that he was doing to be like, okay, he saw my signs, he was just waiting for me to say it. But I think that was just, I became more vocal, and, you know, he became more like in my face that I'm doing this for you. Go take a break, go sit down, let me have the baby, you know. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know if it was just like this image that I had, that if I asked for help, like that typical like first time mom, or, you know, and I think it's movies and TV shows and things like that put like a negative connotation on first time moms being like over dramatic and things like that too. And, you know, I look back on it now and I wish it wouldn't be like that. Like, yes, it's funny and it's a joke, but then sometimes it's like when you're going through that, that's not funny and it's not a joke, you know, and it makes it harder for you to be like, hey, I need help. Like, hey, can you change your diaper for the 50th birthday? Hey, can you go do something? You know, so I just want to make sure, like, I don't want to put people out or, you know, be over dramatic, but it's not. It's just he's helping. You know, you're in this together. There's two parents, and we tell her that now because she's such a mommy's girl, and we'll both be like, you have two parents. We both love you. Go find dada. You know, and so I think that too, or especially when you're a stay-at-home mom, and, you know, being a stay-at-home mom is new to me. I happened January of this year, but I try to be like, okay, home is my job, and then like he works, and he comes home and he's like, no, this is our job, you know, taking care of her, it's our job. And so when you have someone like that, like, take advantage of that, you know, because I know not everyone's lucky enough to have a spouse who, you know, is there, or, you know, they travel a lot, or, you know, whatever the case is. So when you have that spouse that's like, let me do it, let them do it. That's like my biggest thing.
If they're offering, and that's one thing I think for me, if someone's offering to give me help, at the beginning I was like, no, but then, you know, a couple months in, I was like, yes, take them. If you want to hold my baby, sure, you can hold my baby. Like, he loves, and I feel like that really kind of helped him too, because he's so social now. He loves people. He loves meeting people. And I mean, maybe that's what did it. But I know when I had originally started like just coming out and saying, hey, I'm going through this, I feel like it was a weight lifted off my shoulders. And it just really kind of like, it was like, like finally, like I've admitted it, not just to everybody, but to myself out loud. And
Yes.
I feel like that was my biggest game changer. And as soon as I had done that, and really as soon as I stopped, like I started not nursing as much, really is what changed me. And I feel like that's when I really started to become myself and like open up and be like, all right, like I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm getting through this, I'm just dealing with these situations. I have no idea what these hormones are, but I'm going through this. And as soon as I had said something, I just, that weight was lifted off my shoulders. Everyone around me knew, like they already had known, but now they knew that I was aware. Yeah. And I think that was
And it's funny how you think people don't know, and then and you say it out loud, and everyone's like, "Yep, we know," and you're like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me?"
yeah, you're like, okay. And you know what, because they don't want to hurt your feelings because you're already feeling so down. And
Yeah.
I feel the sooner you come out, the better. I feel like the sooner you come out and say you've got the situation going on, then that's really when I feel like it'll be easier for you if you are experiencing postpartum or baby blues. Then I think that's going to really just help you get through it, and that way you know you're not in this alone. You're not in it alone, and you've really, you just got it going on. You're super mom.
And another thing too, especially with like postpartum depression, I know for me, like I said, I wish I would have found that mom group, that we were all pregnant at the same time or gone to those classes for the hospital. As an alternative, what I found was the Facebook mom groups, and I have to say, like, I hate them. Not all of them are like, if you find a small one, because that's actually where me and Christina like met, was a small local one. But when
Okay.
you go to those like Facebook groups who have like 50,000, 40,000,
Yeah.
even 2,000, 3,000, that many women in one area, especially like online, where people are, what do they call them, like keyboard heroes, where they just say whatever because they're behind a screen and they don't realize what they're saying to you, is, I think, negative. And I felt like that was part of the negativity as well, is because I was going to those, and every time a mom felt comfortable enough to vent about how she was feeling, they were just bashing her. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I've
that's
seen
part
those,
of the
and I've
reason
been on some of the
why.
mom groups and seen that, and I just
Yeah.
don't want anything to do with it. It's like, oh my
Nope.
gosh.
And I was like, oh my God. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to create Red Wine and Blue Mom, because I saw the negativity, and obviously you can't control what everyone says, in your group and stuff. But I was like, I don't want to be a part of a group like this. Like, she can't even express, like, this mom is going through something and people are telling her to shut up, it's normal. And I'm like, that's mean,
That's
especially
really
since, like,
mean.
it's normal. Like,
Moms need to stick together. That's the
like,
biggest
okay, yes,
thing.
it's normal, but tell her how you got over it. Let her know that it's normal to feel this way, and then give her advice on how she can get out of it, or
Exactly.
give her some tips. Don't just be like, get over it.
Yeah.
And I think that was my biggest thing too. And I was like, I don't think I would ever recommend, or if I did, I'd be like, find a small one with like 20 women. Like,
Yeah,
those
if
bigger
you
ones,
can't find
they're
something in your
catty.
area, that's a really great idea. I
Mm-hmm.
did MOPS, which is Moms of
Oh,
Preschoolers,
yes.
and that was really helpful. They have really great speakers. You get to meet local moms in your areas, and normally they pair you up with moms who live like right in your general zip code.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not like and they do meetups and stuff like that. And I think that was really good for me. And they do a lot of expressive things where it lets you vent, and you even sign a waiver of like privacy. Like you're not going to say anything. Like if you were talking to me and just, hey Sarah, like me and Eric are going through this. Like I have a code of honor that you sign beforehand, so you know that whatever you say is sacred and safe.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that was, I'm like, that's okay. And I think too, and that's, as soon as I feel comfortable, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say something. And then I would see that, being said online, and because of course you're on Facebook or something during your downtime, I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say anything. But yeah, it's finding non-judgmental people. I think there's a MOPS around us, because I know my mother-in-law recommended a MOPS to me.
Oh.
But I don't know if it wasn't close, or I looked into it, or the reason why we didn't do it. But finding Hey Mama and our local group and stuff, and us hanging out, and we just simply met at, I think, like the McDonald's, the little play area. We met there. We let the kids run around. The kids got along so well. We got along so well. And I'm like, yeah, let's be
Yeah,
friends.
going to the park too, and you meet so many moms at the park, and like if your kids are playing together, let them play together and
Yeah.
just let it happen, and it'll happen organically. Just don't be afraid if you are going through something. Just don't be afraid to reach out. That's my biggest. I think my biggest takeaway would be the sooner you speak up and the sooner you can just kind of bring it up and be like, hey, I'm going through this, the quicker I think that you'll be able to kind of breathe and just
Yeah.
like, I'm okay. And everybody knows that I'm going through this, but they know I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not, just over. And this is just, maybe you are going through that and maybe you are feeling that, then I would definitely reach out to your doctor. But if you're just kind of in that situation where you're happy and you're just like, oh, I'm a mom now, I'm so happy. But at the same time, you're crying uncontrollably. That's a huge part of hormones, but also, that's just, it's something that you're going to go through. And I feel like if you speak up and you're just really open and transparent about it, it'll be a lot easier for you to go through it. So I don't know. I think that's kind of the biggest.
It's like self-awareness, knowing, and knowing it is normal, knowing that, so many moms go through this, and then knowing where you are in the spectrum, because it's a spectrum. And so there's, slight baby blues, to full on, yes, you may need more medical attention, postpartum depression, because that could lead to other things, and
yes.
Knowing how you are too, because I suffer, I don't know if you notice on Twitter too, I suffer from like anxiety sometimes, and it's just these spouts that I get every once in a while, and I'm just like, I just don't feel myself. I don't feel happy today. I don't feel, and I feel anxious. And so if you have that before you get pregnant, really digging into like, okay, I've had these types of feelings before pregnancy. They may be heightened, after I have a baby, and being aware of that. Just really knowing yourself, knowing when you're feeling off, because that was my biggest thing. And like I said, it may just be due to I've watched family members have, full on like actual depression and, bipolar disorders and stuff like that, that I've always been aware of mental, health and mental awareness. But I just think really digging into your own mental health before and after a baby is like the biggest tip I can ever give. And yes, speaking out as soon as possible, if it's to a family or friend that you trust, to your doctor, like across the board.
Yes. Yeah. I think those are definitely, I love that. Like knowing your mental, like you're knowing who you are and like just becoming aware mentally of the things that you're going through is huge. And so I guess those are top 3 takeaways from our talk today would be, becoming aware, you've like, especially if maybe you're watching this and you are pregnant, just, get aware of, hey, like, I've had these thoughts before. I've gone through this before, like, because it's all going to come out when those, like, it brings out a lot of, and stuff that you don't even realize that you had going on. Like, it throws you a whole new loop of stuff. So just be aware. And they actually talk about that in your birth class. I did oh gosh, what did we do? I did one of the birth classes, and it was huge though. Like I said, it helped keep us from actually having to do a C-section, an emergency C-section. So knowing, I mean, I would definitely recommend, getting a birth class, but they talk about that in the birth class about, you're going to be, it's going to like some maybe deeply embedded feelings and things that you've suppressed will come out after you have your baby. There's so many hormones running through your body when you have your child or like afterwards too. So not only are you having the pregnancy hormones, like all these extra hormones are coming out because you're producing milk and all this, and you're also changing, you're not sleeping. And it's an insane fun time. It's so much fun. That was sarcasm. No, but it really is fun.
We're like, it's fun.
It's great. I love it so much. No, I mean, it's a blink. And it's gone. But I mean, really, doing that and then getting your alone time, that is huge as a mom. Getting that, even like I always say this, if it's just 5 minutes, like 10 minutes, really 5 minutes is never enough, but it could do huge. Like enough time to have a glass of wine. Like that's really glass of wine. If you don't drink, a glass of tea, something that'll give you enough time to just recharge, decompress, and just kind of breathe and be like, that's how we should start next week or Thursday.
And it may just because like I work from my phone a lot, I try to like my alone time like not have my phone. And it's easier now because Arya takes my phone all the time. But I'm not opposed to screen time after a kid, especially if it's like I need to get things done. And I've been very open that I am a screen time mom, and I know there's a balance that she needs. But if I need to get something done, yes, you can learn your colors or your numbers on your tablet. Like, go have fun, and it gives me a break. And, just staying away from the world too. So just take 10 minutes, like alone time, no social media, no, just for you, do it by yourself, take a bath, do something relaxing, because you not only need to recharge yourself, but your mind. And sometimes the clutter of social media doesn't let you recharge your mind.
No. I feel like it almost makes it worse. You need 100% alone time. And I could even have like that's a whole other separate discussion on, getting your alone time and getting that not routine, but just your morning, your first hour of waking up is huge on how your day is going to go. Even the first couple minutes, and that's really just the biggest thing is that. That's a whole other topic, but yeah, getting that alone time, no phones, just enjoying the peace and quiet, because when you become a mom, that is so sacred.
It'll be 18 years before you get that again.
Yeah. Or I'm like, if you're having more, it'll be longer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm so glad we got to have this talk, and looking forward to talking on Thursday. I'm going to be on her channel, so you can actually go over to the Red Wine and Blue Mom. She's going to create an event, and we're going to be going over We're going to be going over the Mommy Pockets, the brand, how it got started, the box, and all the fun stuff that goes with that. And next week, so this is, like I said in the beginning, this is actually going to be a 4 to 6 week series. I haven't confirmed a couple slots yet, so we'll see. I think it's going to be about six weeks. But next week, we're going to be going over pregnancy and postpartum fitness for moms. So we actually have somebody who has done a lot of coaching, and she's really fun. Her name, oh gosh, let me see. One second. If you look her up, I'm actually going to have her info in the event that I'm going to create for next week. But her name is Bethany Webner, and she is super sweet. She's really fun, and she is really educated on doing the coaching and for pregnancy and then postpartum too, and getting back on a routine and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to having her on here next week as well.
That's exciting. I can't wait to watch it. So same time, Tuesday, 11:30?
Yep, it will be 11:30 every Tuesday for the next 6 weeks. So that will be next Tuesday. Yeah.
Good.
So thank you so much for being on here. I'm so glad we got to chat.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is, like I said, it's such an important topic for me, just because, obviously I went through it, but I just don't want other people to feel that sadness and, I guess hopelessness is kind of what it is when you're not aware of what's going on. So that's why I try to be as open as possible. And it was scary to open up about this topic, but I'm so glad I have, because so many people have, come to me saying thank you. And even if one person said thank you for opening up and help me, I would have done my job. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm so glad that you're like, when I saw that, I've seen your topic stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. I completely agree with everything that you're saying. And I just loved that you were so open about it and just speaking up. And I feel like, especially if you are someone on social media or you are an influencer of any sort, then you do need to speak up. And being open is that's, like I said, one of the big things is opening up, and is the fact that you are, it just knows that it just confirms with other moms, hey, I'm not in this alone. I've gone through this too. She's gone through this. This is something that I'm going to be able to be okay with. So just take these tips that we gave you guys today, and use them. If you are going through it, seek more help if you do need it. But just reach out, get the alone time, and enjoy your moments with your baby. They go so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see how follow y'all's journey on conceiving too.
Yeah, I was like, it's in real time, and Eric and I didn't really think that through because I'm like, well, what if we get pregnant? We got to announce it right away. So this should be interesting.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, or you could try to hide it, but
I know, I'm
yeah.
like, how do I hide it and pretend that I'm still trying to conceive? We're just
Like,
kind of
oh,
winging
surprise!
everything.
Last night.
I know. I'm like, my parents are watching. No. But yes, that'll be another topic, I guess.
That'll be a really fun topic. Yeah, I definitely let me know when that one happens, and I'll be tuning in for it.
Right.
All
Right.
right.
Yes, thank you again for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you Thursday.
Yes, see you Thursday. I'll make the event today and I'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Bye.
Bye.